I'd like to call the meeting to order for the City Council regular meeting of Monday, March 23rd at 6 p.m. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cameron.
Here.
Alderman Anderson.
Here.
Alderman Dash.
Here.
Alderman Morgan Adams.
Here.
Alderman Dolick.
Here.
Please stand for the pledge. Before? Yeah. Okay, I'd like to get a motion from somebody on the council to, we want to move up the item 6 to occur right after item 3, and then item 9B to occur right after that, and then item 12 to occur right after that, and then we'll go back, after that's all done, back to 4, and then continue on. So can I get a motion for that?
So moved, Anderson.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So that's what we'll do. Item 3, approval of minutes.
So moved, Anderson.
Second, Cameron.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Dolick.
Aye.
Alderman Morgan Adams.
Aye.
Alderman Dash.
Aye.
Alderman Anderson.
Aye.
Alderman Cameron.
Aye.
Motion passes. Yeah, that was for both. Minutes. All right, we're going to go then to item 6, public comment on agenda matters.
Yes, we have a few, Mayor.
Okay. So-
On agenda, we have Mary Jean Meyer, please.
I thought they were going to do the presentation first.
No, it's always, public comment on agenda items is always the first item of the
First,
meeting.
right.
Whether your item is first or 27th on the list of items for that day. It wasn't changed in a different direction. We're just moving everything up sooner. So you guys don't have to be here till 10 o'clock with us.
Okay.
It's-
I just, the special use, PUD, whatever, Muir Park, 10010.
What was your name again?
Mary Jean Meyer. I'm just here to say, I hope that you would vote no. I hope that you came to the property and looked at it. Did anyone actually step their feet on the property and imagine what those buildings are going to look like, that property is not big enough to hold all those buildings so close together. My house has so many feet between mine and the house next door, and my house is, only 1.5 stories high. These are going to be 2.5 stories on a berm, huge, with minimal property between them because of the easement variation, the setback variation. They're right up against the parking lot next door on the west side. It's like nobody's looked at this with a clear eye and a clear mind, and I just implore you to be realistic and see that this does not follow with the semi-rural character that you spoke about in the last newsletter. It's not what Prospect Heights is all about, and that's not what draws people to our community. And I just implore you to rethink this through. It was approved 5 years ago. Maybe that's not the best thing anymore, and maybe you can all look at it again with a clear eye. That's all.
Thank you.
Next person, please, would be Jim, P-I-E-C-U-S. Thank you, sorry.
My name is Jim Vikish, 13 Prospect Drive. Unfortunately, I'm very much under the weather, so I'm going to limit what I have to say. May I address, are you Dennis or Nita?
See,
No. Okay.
you're allowed to
Well, if I'm
comment.
going to speak of someone, I just want to know if they were looking at me.
Okay, I thought you said, could you speak to them?
No, I just,
Got
I emailed you, wanted to meet you. What I'm going to mention briefly before I start hacking up alone is my concerns. Everybody's got concerns about this whole project, but from a construction worker my entire life, from my perspective, I just have my own, I don't know how to word this. Again, I haven't had time this week to write anything down. Again, the wording, his company does not impress me. Now, I've worked for Pepper, Power, Walsh, some of the biggest in Illinois. I've worked for dozens of smaller contractors. And again, we can't speak directly or whatever, and he doesn't have to address this. Maybe he will. I just think Lexington, and I don't know all the details to this. Again, I have a busy life, but Lexington gave up on this for a reason. Or they sold it to them, or whatever they did, transferred it to them. They're going to develop this, supposedly. I went to his office on a Saturday. I know Saturday it's closed. I just thought, it's in Wheeling. It's easy to find. It's right across the street from Public Works in Wheeling. I grew up in Wheeling. Their building looks like it's deserted and abandoned on the weekend. During the week, there's cars in there. They have no signage. It's almost an eyesore, in my opinion. Sorry. I'm sure you have a different opinion. The only project of theirs I've got to see is a large one, I believe they're doing, I won't address him anymore, at Milwaukee and Dundee Road. It's a big old building on the northeast corner. It was a Chorus Bank building for many years. Again, I've lived in Wheeling my whole life. If they're developing that now, there's just too many questions I have that it don't seem like a qualified or a legitimate or a, it's a sixth sense. They don't have any signage there whatsoever, zero, around that building that they're developing. Why wouldn't you have signage? Publicity, signs are important. Why not draw more business to your company? That's like the fly-by-night kind of companies that hide and they don't know who anybody is. I drove around the building twice. I could be wrong. Drove around very slow, looked at everything, saw no signage, nothing whatsoever to represent their company. Why would you want advertising? It's not how high-quality contractors operate, in my opinion. The last thing about that too, again, I might be nitpicking things, but it all brings me back to a representation of their company. The back lot of that place is like a junkyard. I don't know if it's yours. There's RVs, boats, crashed cars, motorcycles, riding lawnmowers, and construction junk that looks like it's accumulated there for years. That's not professional, in my opinion. Again, I'm not saying I'm the utmost with experience in this, but construction's all I've done for my whole life. So I gotta end this before I get any more.
So Jim, I don't know if you're sticking around, but in their presentation, it does look like they're going to speak to some of the projects they've done locally.
Okay, I've looked at their website too, but
Yeah,
again,
so
it
they're
wasn't very
gonna,
impressive. I just think in today's day and age, you want to come off as professional and wow factor as you can, and they don't at all. Just my opinion. So again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anna Pisuch.
Hi, my name is Anna Pikesh. I live at 13 Prospect Drive. And the only thing that I wanted to say was the quarterly news that we get in the mail. And it just, I'm just repeating what the mayor quoted saying in here, that new residents often say they moved to Prospect Heights because of its large lots and semi-rural character. The city's incorporation in 1976 was driven largely by the desire to protect the features and prevent annexation, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, by surrounding towns. Our large lots and countless trees let you know that we are Prospect Heights. We are an island surrounded by communities where it is easy to mistake which one we might be. I guess you guys need to change your definition, because if you're putting in a little small spot 69 units that do not belong there, they should be, if you're going to continue with what you're saying, that we should be a city of large lots, you're not doing that. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jerry Simmons, please. Jerry Simmons.
Hello. I'm Jerry Simmons, 101 East Clarendon. I don't know if it's the same issue that was brought to the zoning that is brought to the city council, but the issue that was brought to the zoning meeting, I was there, was that this is already passed and expired, and they want to just re-up it, like just say that it's going to be good now. So that would require us to disregard our building and zoning rules, not only for 1 year or 2 years, but 4-year-old data. And it was already passed and ready to go, and I know the first Lennar passed on it or didn't get it through, but whatever. So I feel that that's opportunity lost on them. And I always try to get down to the simplest question, and I asked during the zoning hearings, if I was to build a single-family home, or put in plans to build a single-family home, and didn't do it, and then came back 4 years later and said, here's my plans that are already passed, could I do it? I was told I would have to do everything over again. So I just kind of thought that was it. I thought we were going to be done with this because it seemed like so simple to me. But obviously, everybody didn't come to the same conclusion. And it just makes no sense if I'm going to do one house and I would have to redo my plans. Why would I be able to do 69 houses and not have to redo my plans? And I don't even know if it's relative to all this, but the new builder, he has virtually very little skin in this game, if any. The plans are either he's buying them or he's getting them from Lennar. I don't even know what Lennar, if they had an attorney here. They had an attorney at the zoning meeting, although they said they were not involved in it anymore. And even buying the land was bought contingent on everything passing. So I don't see why we would give such a big favor to someone like that. It just doesn't even make any sense to me. So everybody knows how I feel, zoning and city council. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you, guys.
Diana Sturba, please.
Hi, I'm Diana from 1102 Maple Lane. I actually just have two questions. The first one is, are there any areas or within our area that have 69 townhomes on residential side, basically coming off of side streets, that we could take a look at that and see what that looks like? Because my understanding is everything of that size is usually off of a main road and not a little side street getting into it. So it would be nice to see, are there any other communities that have accepted this off of small, basically side streets? First question. So we can drive by and take a look and see what that looks like. And my second question is, what are you prepared to do to address the safety issues of the residents in that area should you put up those 69 townhomes? Considering we're talking about side streets, not off of the main road, so we're talking about side streets that have no street lights, no sidewalks. We are walking our dogs, our kids are out there jogging, riding bikes. What are you prepared to do to mediate the safety concerns off of small side streets coming in with this kind of a traffic? And are there any communities that have done this that we can actually go and see, oh, that actually looks okay, or it's really not okay? So, those two questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, next person up is Ken Ribeiro.
Oh, okay.
That was the end of,
Exactly. Oh, I thought he would.
Anybody else want to come up? Come on up.
We're gonna jump
I'm
in.
Rachel Simmons. Actually, I'm going to kind of back up what she was just talking about. I'm on 6th Drake, so I'm on that street that would have all the traffic. And I have a daughter. We walk the street as often as we can when it's nice. 69 townhouses. That's 69 cars twice a day to and from. Majority of Americans have 2 cars. So that's an extra 41 cars a day. That's like almost, well, we're gonna round up 200 cars driving past my house twice a day. it's a lot of cars. So yeah, what are we gonna do to keep my daughter safe? How am I gonna feel safe walking to the park with her? How am I gonna feel safe if my dog's maybe in the front yard? Also, majority of the neighborhood is a little bit older, I will say. You are now risking families not wanting to move to that neighborhood because of the same risk, which then takes away from your school district, your library use, your all the things, soccer, everything. Young families are not going to want to move to that area, period. So yeah, that's really all I have to say.
Okay, so now we are going to skip to number 9B. Go ahead.
9B is O2604, staff memo and ordinance reestablishing of special use and plan unit development for Nieder Capital Services LLC at 1001 and 999 Oak Avenue. This is just a first reading.
Dan, would you like to tell us about it?
Yes. This project was originally before the Zoning Board of Appeals in early 2021, because the applicant at the time, Lexington Homes, had a contract to purchase the 5.23 acres of Jolly Funhouse Academy. They had also entered into an agreement with the Park District to do a land swap and do some park improvements at that time. The application had the blessing of the owner of the property to seek rezoning of the property. It was rezoned from R1 PUD to R2 PUD, and then they were proposing a 69-unit townhome subdivision that during the public hearing and 3 subsequent special meetings, hours of testimony did come to the recommendation at that time, unanimous by the ZBA, to recommend approval because the project had met the standards of the zoning code for an R2 PUD that Lexington Homes was proposing. Subsequently, in 2020, the City Council did approve that ordinance. Fast forward a couple of years, the owners, applicants, Lexington, had entered into a couple of extensions while they worked through the process with the landowner to try to close the deal, also to finish off the TIF district and subsequent intergovernmental agreements in compliance with the code. Early in 2023, all those agreements were finally finished, so we were waiting on the deal to close in 2023 or 2024 within the period of validity. Don't know why. It doesn't matter how this deal did not get finished. However, it did not. The development agreements are in place through the ordinance. We received a phone call from Mr. Burney saying that he had a client that had a contract to purchase Jolly Funhouse, the 5.23 acres, and wanted to reestablish the approved townhome subdivision. In reviewing the application and the documents, the only area that was in default was a section of the special use ordinance, which states that if a project is not in existence or worked upon for 12 months, it loses its project validity. There were no other changes to the ordinance, the plan. There were no other changes to the standards of approval, and the applicants are here tonight to explain what their plan is. So the question was brought to the zoning board that has the project still have merit to move forward and reestablish the special use so that the new contract purchaser can continue to move forward with the project that was approved by ordinance 2037, approving a special use plan unit development and 3 minor variations to construct the 69-unit townhome on the project. and that's what brought us to us. A zoning board hearing was held last month, and a vote of 6-1, the ZBA recommended approval to reinstate the special use for the project, and that's what brings us here tonight. And the applicants are here to speak to the case.
So if you'd like to start your presentation.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the board, city council, I want to thank you for moving us up. I'm Tom Burney. I'm representing Nieder in connection with this. I had appeared before you in connection with the Lexington development 4 years ago. As all of you who were on the board at the time remember, this development was vetted in a great amount of detail. You can see from the documents that are part of the file, the depth of inquiry that went on, the information that we provided you to answer the questions that were presented by the public. I'm here tonight with Yarina Makarchuk, M-A-K-A-R-C-H-U-K. She's the general counsel for Nieder, with Dennis Stradivetsky, who is of Nieder Capital. Yarina is going to just talk to you a little bit about the history of Nieder. Dennis will be here to answer any technical questions. Carolyn Schofield, she and I work together. She's sat in a seat much like yours on the city council in Crystal Lake and also on the county board in McHenry County. So she knows land use, and she's going to very quickly remind you of what it is that we're seeking approval of. The very same plan that you approved 4 years ago. And then Nate Blinson is going to be here to really pass the baton, so to speak, to explain to you that he's here to cooperate to make this development go forward. With all the energy that was invested by Dan and Joe before when he was the manager, and this board and your plan commission, we all felt bad that it did not go forward. It was an extremely complex deal. It took longer than the owner was willing to give us time to complete a very difficult, complicated process. And that's why we weren't able to move forward. Before I introduce Yarina, I would just reiterate, I don't know that this community or any community has ever vetted a project with the kind of detail that this project was vetted and responded to the objections that the neighbors had. I've heard the objectors talk about that this is not consistent with a rural, semi-rural character of your community, but you know that this is not an area that's characterized by a semi-rural character. It's surrounded by adjacent to multiple family development, much higher densities, and in the information that you have, there are comparative densities to what are in other communities, and this is significantly below that. There's concerns about Nieder, and as one of the gentlemen on the Plan Commission said, this is really about whether you have the confidence in Nieder. Nate's going to talk about that, but we also know that your staff has vetted them because they're developing in the community right next door, Wheeling, and I believe that has that's been a very positive analysis. And with that, I'd like to introduce Yarina. And Yarina, could you tell us a little bit about Nieder, and then Carolyn will come right after that.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yarina Makarchuk, and I'm both the council and the managing member of Nieder Capital Services LLC, and we appreciate the opportunity to stand in front of the council and present this project. I wanted to take a brief moment to introduce who we are. And we are a family-founded company built over several decades by immigrants who came here with the goal of creating something that is lasting. And today the company is in its third generation of family leadership, and we remain actively involved in every aspect of the business with hands-on approach. Our work has taken us across the greater Chicago area, and our focus has always been the same: building well-designed, attainable housing that fits naturally into the communities we join. We don't approach developments on a one-time transaction. We approach them as a long-term commitment, both to the property and to the people around it. We understand that there have been questions, and we appreciate that, and it's important for us to earn trust, not to just assume it. That's part of why we're here. We're here to present, to be transparent, to listen, and to be heard. I also want to address the financial side directly. Through our long-standing relationships with lenders, we have secured a commitment from Marquette Bank for this development, and we are confident that the financial component is solid and will not be an obstacle to completion of this project. We believe this project represents a good fit for this community, and we are committed to carrying it forward in a way that reflects the character and priorities of the for the community. Thank you for your time. And Caroline?
Thank you, Mayor.
Good evening. I'm Carolyn Schofield. Is there any way we can?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Patrick, can we get the slides that were
While he's
presented?
doing that, I just wanted to thank the Planning and Zoning Commission for their positive recommendation, and thank you to the council for entertaining the request for the rezoning of the special use and plan unit development for the 69-unit townhome project. And So I'll just start, and then we can flip through some of the slides as they come on. So the project, as you're all familiar with, located at 1001 and 99 Oak Avenue, located east of Elmhurst Road and south of Hinds at the former Jolly Fun House Academy, which is now vacant. The site plan consists of 69 units, including 12 buildings, with 4 to 6 units each on a 5.2 acre parcel. We'll bring up, you have the, I'll flip quickly through. You have the elevations that are in your packet. Essentially, it's exactly what was proposed previously. When this project was approved, the elevations consist of brick and on the brick and siding, and I'll just wait till it comes up. But we can flip through those quickly then when it does come up.
We don't have it, do we? Oh, that, yeah. Budget.
Oh, yeah, we're just gonna flip through them quickly, just to refresh everybody, and so you have a visual versus having to flip through your packet itself. So, if you could just bring up, start at the site plan, would be great. Is it good? Okay. Okay. Yeah, sorry, we kind of did it a little bit in the reverse this time. So there's as I was saying, it's east of Elmhurst Road and south of Hinds Road. We could just go to the next one, and it will show the site plan of those 12 buildings, consisting of those 4 to 6 units in each building. And then the elevations are the next couple of slides, showing the high quality materials that they'll be utilizing, both in the front elevations as well as in the rear and side elevations. And then the next one, it shows the landscaping around the units, foundational plantings along the side and the front elevations. And then the next one showing the larger landscape plan, which includes trees and shrubs provided around the perimeter of the project to complement this architecture, and includes landscaping on the north property to line the buffer, to line along the homes and to provide a more significant buffer along that area of the project. So next one is the land swap that is proposed with the Park District, and currently an agreement has been made with the Park District and is in the final stages of being approved and worked through to do this land swap with the Mirror Park area. And then I think the next one shows the improvements that will be done to Mirror Park. They will include, NEDR will be doing a significant investment in these improvements. This is what was proposed previously. Again, they are continuing discussions with the Park District of what those final plans will look like, but this was the previous rendering, and they are committed to making significant investment in those park improvements. Truly, that's all I had. I just wanted to, again, thank you for your time and consideration. We respectfully request approval of the reestablishment of the special use and planned unit development for the 69-unit townhouse development. Yeah, next is Nate will talk.
Back to the beginning of the presentation. Thank you. Nate, you're up, man.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Nate Weinsma with Lexington Homes. A lot of familiar faces here. It's been a little while, but we are not the petitioner tonight, but I did want to, just as a previous petitioner and party that was instrumental in getting this project approved, and as Tom said, we went through a number of public hearings and quite a bit of work done by your staff and ours to get it to this point. And because it was so involved and because there was significant expenditures by both parties and so much detail put into the redevelopment agreement and the TIF that was enacted, it was unfortunate, I think, what happened or what transpired when we were involved. But for a number of reasons, we were not able to continue forward with the development and keep the property, the private portion of the property under contract and control, which kind of led to a period where I personally, we as a company, kept in touch with your staff and the group that was marketing the property for sale, and working with both to find, if it wasn't going to be us, we wanted to find somebody who could execute this project. And through a number of parties, previous parties, some of which had completely different visions for the property that failed to transpire. We were approached by Tom Burney and his group that he's representing, NEDR, with the request that we, Lexington Homes, would work in cooperation with the new petitioner in reestablishing this PUD through cooperation, collaborating with them, but also through assignment of all the previous work product and plans that had been approved and vetted through the public hearing process. We had, as I said, been approached by previous developers, and none of them really panned out, if you put it simply. One of the things that this project and property has always been a challenge, number of challenges, physical infrastructure challenges, that all required the TIF and the in-depth redevelopment agreement that we negotiated. So there was a lot of moving parts, but the successful contract to purchase the property was really the trigger for NEDR Capital, that no one else had really been able to reach that point where they were under contract and control the property in order to specifically reinstate the PUD that had been established previously. So we were encouraged by that to cooperate with them and vet them ourselves. And what was touched on a little bit tonight and at the Plan Commission a few weeks back was their current projects in this, not just, their past history or projects, but their current projects in this area, including River Road in Des Plaines, Prairie Park in Wheeling, the Highlands of Prairie Park, the building that was the former Cole Taylor Bank on Milwaukee and Dundee that was referenced earlier. These are extensive projects. These are large capital expenditures, require a lot of equity. They require sophisticated lenders and debt. I dare say they have more development in this immediate area between their projects in Wheeling and Des Plaines than any other builder in the Chicago market right now. So with that, we felt that it was worth our investment of time and energy and resources to collaborate with them in reestablishing this PUD. They've shown capability of financing the project, and certainly with their current projects, the ability to build it, develop it, and build it ultimately. So having some history here, even before this project with our development and construction of Rob Roy and subsequent phases of Rob Roy over the years, our experience in Prospect Heights has been extensive. It's been maybe out of character with what was referenced earlier about the semi-rural character of Prospect Heights. That is certainly true as a community overall, but that has not been our involvement with Prospect Heights in the previous developments we've had in this community. And I think it just reflects a healthy balance of housing types in this community, and even though we maybe haven't built any of those lower density single family homes in this community, I think we're very proud of what we have built in Prospect Heights over the years. I think there are several other examples like Sunrise and some other developments that maybe also fit more in the character of what we've built in the past in Prospect Heights, but I think it all reflects a very good balance of housing for the community. So with that, like I said, our role here is really as a cooperative party to assign our previous work product, and we feel that Nieder is a qualified developer to do that. They've thus far proven to be successful to a great extent, and I think if given the reestablishment of this PUD, they will be successful in coming back through a process of final plan approval and development of the project. And that's our hope and desire. And so with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, but appreciate the time.
That ends our presentation, Mayor.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Again, this is a first reading only, so there's no vote tonight, but do you have any questions?
Well, I want to thank you for bringing all this development forward so we have a better understanding of the quality of work that's been done over the years in different places. So I really am happy to have seen this presentation today.
Thank you.
I mean, I think we should maybe just chat a little bit, right? Because then it'll give us some time to think about this as we move into the next meeting when we would vote, correct? 'Cause we would vote at the next city council meeting. So I guess for me, Netter would be the developer and the builder, correct? Okay.
Yes.
Great. Okay. And then I saw that there was a traffic report submitted that was prepared in 2020. Was it the Plan Commission's recommendation that traffic study be updated, Dan?
Yes, the PZBA made that a condition of approval of the special use permit. So if that does not get done before the final development plan, the PUD would then be null, because it was a condition of the PUD, but they do have time to prepare it in preparation for their final development plan.
Great. And just so like the audience knows, the traffic study is available on the city's website. You can take a look at it. The conclusion of the consultant that was hired doesn't imply that there'd be any impacts to the roadway systems, especially during peak hours. There's going to be no impact to the signals around the community. The parking spaces are going to be adequate. So for me, again, there are a lot of opinions in this room, right? We all have an opinion, whether you're sitting in the room or on the board. So I would say, if you can find a traffic consultant that would dispute the information in this report, like to me, that would be worth, considering, versus like an opinion, like I think there's not enough parking, or I think the roads aren't big enough, or I think, this, right? So thinking is great and opinions are great, but I would encourage you to find a professional licensed engineer that would read KLOA's report and say like, hey, you know what, I don't agree with the traffic counts, or I don't agree with their assessment of the existing road conditions, because that to me would bring some merit as far as like, hey, like maybe they got something wrong and we should reconsider that. So the traffic study is available on the website. You can find that. My question would be, is Netter purchasing then the architecture that BSB prepared, or are they coming with their own architecture? Because the BSB plans were in the package that I saw.
Councilmember, we've alerted the Plan Commission to this as well. Neither believes that it can fit within a minor modification in terms of the architecture, and it is going to present that to the city staff and ultimately to the city council to change the architecture to be more fitting with what they do. So this...
They're not buying the BSB plans.
Correct.
Okay.
And this is the base of the template for what they have to satisfy in terms of
Okay,
what
so it'll
you
be in
get.
substantial conformance with what was already approved. So like the percentage of brick will be the same?
Yes.
Okay.
These are minimums.
Okay, and I believe the dimension of what was previously approved was like 24 feet wide? Is that, but something I'll be thinking of, right? So I would suspect that, again, if the footprint of these buildings, like the width, because I know that we're also going to hear, parking, right? All of these units will have a 2-car garage. So want to make sure that we can fit 2 cars in those garage, and a 24-foot product, anything above 20 feet would be acceptable. So as long as the product isn't any more narrow than that, it should be sufficient for parking, 2 cars, because again, we're going to hear parking concerns. I would also like to remind the audience that these are preliminary plans that were approved in this first go-around. So they have not done final platting, they have not done final engineering. So when we talk about drainage and stormwater, all of the final plans are going to have to adhere to today's zoning codes and regulations on stormwater management. So we're not rubber stamping a plan that was done 5 years ago that's not going to adhere to today's standards for purposes of like drainage and those types of things. Dan, if I'm incorrect, please call me out for it.
That you are absolutely correct.
Right. So final engineering and final platting will all be done in conformance with today's 2025 standards. So we're not by any means saying like, oh, well, back in 2020, this was okay, and now it's okay today. We're not giving anyone a free pass in regards to the engineering standards that we're going to ask them to uphold.
Ms. Dash, can I just remind you as well that you were sitting on the Plan Commission when this was considered, and one of the things you and the Plan Commission insisted on was a condition 3, and we're agreeing to all of those conditions that were approved as part of this. And that was the concern about the wells, and we have got to present our hydrological information to the city engineer or the consultant it chooses to confirm that there's not going to be a negative impact on the shallow wells that are employed in this. And we thank you and the Plan Commission for that condition. And it's there to protect the public welfare and these people's property values.
Yeah, and we heard about community wells in the last meeting when you folks weren't here. And in regards to that, yes, the community well would have to be permitted through the IEPA. So there'd have to be information presented to them to substantiate that the well would serve its capacity and its effect on the local area. So correct, it'd be permitted through the IPA? Correct, so it's not just Prospect Heights saying like, yeah, you should drop a well, we think this is a great idea, right? So we're not the jurisdicting department in regards to like issuing the permit for that well. I also want to mention too, like the land has not been purchased yet, right? So I'm assuming that the purchase of the land is contingent upon getting these approvals. So we're not doing anyone a favor because they've already bought the land. So that is not true. In regards to density, again, coming here tonight and being like, hey, like we think it's too dense, like, again, that's an opinion. So I think if you can, again, we vetted this prior to not only the Plan Commission, but City Council, but like the surrounding uses. The density of the condominium or rental component directly adjacent to this is much more dense than what's being proposed here. So this is what they would call like a transitional use. So it would not be uncommon to have an attached product in this location. And I know we don't have to consider this as part of the application, but I'm assuming the applicant has already considered like what their average selling price is going to be for these units, which I think will be eye-opening to a lot of people sitting in this room, as far as bringing more value to the community, actually raising property values with new construction and the sales prices that these units are going for. I'm sure everyone's seeing on Redfin the sale of homes, and new construction is always going to command a higher value over resale because it's new construction. So the quality of these homes and what these homes are going to sell for, again, I think would be good for the folks here to know that these are not going, these are going to be premium homes. So there's a few other things, but again, always open to hearing what everyone has to say. But if you could, if there's any evidence you have that could speak to why the plans as currently proposed are flawed or defective, like that would certainly help me want to potentially like reconsider or note that the city maybe didn't do something correctly. So that's the kind of testimony that I would like to hear.
I would just like to make a couple of comments. Council just received this package on Wednesday of last week, and then Wednesday evening. So I have met with the building director, Dan Peterson, Saturday, and I'm going to be meeting with yourself, Mr. Burney, and also with Nieder probably tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow. Maybe Friday. I have some concerns that I think, again, I have some concerns about the density. I have some concerns about the traffic issues, the parking garages. I'm hoping that we can discuss those issues, and I'm sure that we can discuss them, but I do have some concerns, and that's my different perspective than I had 5.5 years ago when this first came to the council. So I'm sharing some of the concerns of the people here tonight, and I want to be able to investigate them fully and be able to be in a position to deal with them in an appropriate manner. So I am your alderman in this particular ward that this is being, that this offer is being made. So, and this project is proposed. So I would like to be able to be in a more be more educated as to some of these things that are now being proposed again.
We welcome the opportunity to meet with the alderman.
Thank you.
I had a quick question. Something that we just received the packet recently, but going through it, I didn't see much information regarding lighting or a potential issue with exterior lighting, considering the elevation of these units. Lighting is necessary for safety as you're entering your driveway, your garage, etc. But if other homeowners have, for instance, a single-story ranch nearby, is there any exterior lighting that could impact that in a negative way?
I imagine that that's an issue we can work with staff, with the direction of the city council to lower the level of the lighting so that it's not going off-site. I believe there's laws in effect that you cannot have illumination going off-site, and there's plenty of techniques to be able to control lighting, and we stand ready to work with staff and take their suggestions on how we can eliminate those kind of impacts.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think there's a photometric plan posted on the website too, isn't there?
There is a photometric plan. Each house has to have a light at each entrance. You know, that's a safety issue code requirement. There, according to the original draft plans, there were no exterior lightings on the ends of the buildings. There would be, because these homes are going to be required to be fire sprinklered, there is the potential of a pump room, and that's going to have to be properly lighted for access, but it's going to be a minor minimal. We do have, if there are traffic lights proposed, and I don't remember if there were traffic lights proposed on the streets, but we do have height limitations and foot candle limitations where it can't be taller than 12 feet. You know, those types of things to control lighting, and those are already standards in our zoning codes to limit that. We also have anti-glare or requirements. So all that would be looked at the time that we start getting into building permits and actually final development plan review.
Thank you, Dave.
Any other questions? How much different is this development in its layout than the Des location? Is it?
Please identify yourself, Dennis.
Do you have that, Dan, or who's doing the?
We do actually. There's a slide.
Good evening, staff. My name is Dennis Stradiewski of Nieder. Our Des product is more or less identical to the proposed product. We're experienced in building this three-story.
Oh.
Is this the one you're
Yes,
talking about?
yes.
Oh, so what is the address of that?
That's 180 Northeast River Road, and all of those units are complete as of now.
Oh, I'll drive by tomorrow.
We just have one unit unsold, and the rest are being delivered and closed. So, very similar product, rear-loaded, three-story, 2.5 bath, ranging from 1,700 square feet, but more or less what we have proposed in this development to the T.
And what do those sell for?
Couldn't actually tell you what those sell for.
I can look it up.
How many entrances and exits are?
Two for each unit.
Okay, so this one has, you're
Front
gonna
and
you're gonna be doing one way in, one way out.
She's talking about
For the Prospect
No,
Heights.
she's talking about,
A garage and a front door. That's two.
Oh, he answered the wrong, a garage and a front door. How do you get into the
You're
unit?
just getting access from the.
Access, yeah.
It's one.
One way in, one way out.
Yes, yes.
Same thing.
But the
right?
one in Displays is how many?
One.
So it's my development.
Part of the exhibits that are online in the city, on the city's web. What? Please? Okay, please. I know you don't come to these kind of meetings. We have protocol to follow. I mean, it's not a free-for-all. If you want to talk after the meeting, we can do that. Now you made me lose my thought. It happens to me all the time now. But part of the exhibits that were online was a series of local and close, some of them even in Wheeling, right at the location
a series
of single in, single out.
Yes, there's a series of 8 different exhibits that show this is not
Right, okay.
uncommon. And I can't find the page right now, but yes.
Okay.
And while we have Dennis here, what do you expect, or what were these units closing for? What was the price?
Under 500. Yeah,
Under 500.
Range of, depends on how much people spent on upgrades and
Okay, so what was the base on them?
475.
475, and is that going to be comparable to what you expect here?
It will be less than what we expect to put in Prospect Heights.
475 is less than what you're expecting?
Yes,
Okay.
less.
Holy mackerel.
Okay, so what do you expect in Prospect Heights?
Can't give you an estimate now, but it'll be under 475. It'll be within a range of 425 to 475, somewhere in the ballpark.
Okay.
Thank you.
I got a question. Now here, it looks like you have a little bit of a driveway, so You have a 2-car garage, so would they have a driveway where they can park in front of their garage?
Yes.
So that means they can have 4 cars, right?
No.
They
The-
cannot.
The plan that was approved met the standards for the R teams.
Yeah, you said it was something like this, so I was just asking.
Are you talking about
Yeah,
this River
yeah.
Road piece?
Which, excuse me,
She's talking about
Alderman
this
Cameron, are you talking about their current project?
Yeah, well, I was just looking here, I was just asking if cars would be able to park,
On the front?
you know, in the front of their buildings.
No, you have a yard area, you have a green space in front of your unit.
Okay, so they would have to physically go into their garage.
You do have to park in your garage, yes. But we have on-street parking in this development, which we have very limited in this one. We actually have much more parking in this proposed
Yeah, there is a
development.
lot of parking in this development.
So this development has 204 parking spots. So each unit gets 2 parking spots in their garage. I have the math here, so that's,
It's going to be a 2-story, not a 3-story.
I've highlighted it.
138.
Yep, 138 parking spots in the garage, so everyone gets 2 units, 2 parking spots in their garage, 40 guest parking, and then 26 guest/shared parking.
The guest shared parking did get increased when the IGA with the Park District because there was a proposal to increase the shared parking for park uses with the subdivision. So that does get up over right around 215 is roughly that count. I'll have to double check, but there was a reconfiguration of the lot from the teardrop oval to more of a standard rectangular parking plot. That was part of the plan, IG.
That summary's found on PDF page 10 of the, I think it was the last PowerPoint that we presented. And the one-way in and outs are presented. Yes.
So those are from the
Yes, I don't think-
original, those were from the original development application that's online.
Yes. So pages 52 to 56, you can see the one-way ins and one-way outs in that particular document. So there's a number of examples of access in and out via one road.
And the fire district did opine on that it met the safety standards for fire emergency access, and all the roadways on the plan had met all the turning radiuses and requirements of the fire district at the time of the original ZBA approval.
And the auto turn exhibit is on the website too, which is prepared by an engineer, so you guys can find that, you can look at it. It shows you the vehicle and the fire truck that was used to run the exhibit, so you can look at that as well. It's called an auto turn exhibit.
Any other questions?
Yes, so I know that, you know, you've been meeting with Dan and you know, the council members, but how about the residents? Have you, like, reached out to any of the residents that have reached, I think someone reached out to you? I mean, are you communicating with the residents as well?
I haven't been part of those meetings. I know that there have been some residents who've come to Nieder's office. I think Mr. Drake perhaps was one of them, the gentleman that spoke who had the mask on. I don't know if he went in or not, but that's the extent of it. You know, there were a lot of meetings with the residents, or at least there was one really big meeting with the residents at the, was it the school? I just remember being on bleachers and mosquitoes and rain, and so we met then. And then, of course, we had COVID over the period of time when this was presented. So Dennis, you in meetings with them?
Yeah, I just wanted to speak on my behalf. I met with Steve Drake, and we had a few words to share on the trajectory of the development, and then Mr. James Puke, I believe, or
Pikesh, yes.
Pikesh.
He did offer to meet with me. I was unable to do.
Yeah, we did have a meeting scheduled, and he wasn't able to attend before today's meeting, but that was the extent of.
So no one else has reached out to you, or?
No.
I mean, Michelle, I would say it probably is not standard practice or common for an applicant to meet with folks in like that kind of setting. Like, this is the venue by which, you know, this public forum is usually more appropriate to like field questions and talk back and forth versus like hosting something private, like in your, yeah. So this would be probably the most applicable form to like have these kinds of dialogues with the applicant and his staff and his attorneys and engineers. It doesn't look like you have an engineer here tonight, but I'm sure if we wanted them to be present at the next meeting, they could bring their engineer, they could bring their traffic consultant, you know, whatever they decide to answer, you know, our questions.
Okay, I just want everybody to just be transparent, you know, with this project, because it's not a small project, so.
Well, it depends on what your version of small or large is, right? I mean, it's all subjective.
Not 500 units.
Well, that's it. This will be on our agenda again in 2 weeks for the second reading, and I'm assuming...
Over 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
April 13th.
All right. I'm assuming everybody will be back. Who will be back at the meeting?
Carol won't be able to make it, but the rest of us will.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
We'll go on to the next item.
12 now?
Item, you guys could all stay, or you can, let's move on. Say again?
He said don't get old.
No, we're done. You can speak.
You can
again.
present at the next meeting, though. You can come back.
He told us that there were 2 roads.
Yeah, the next meeting, you can address that at the next meeting.
What about manager?
There's not, were you at the ZBA hearing?
I'm sorry?
Did you have an opportunity at the ZBA hearing to ask him?
No, I went
You were here?
visited
Okay.
him. I visited him and he told me.
Okay.
And
All right.
there's 2 roads in right now, so
Okay.
why is there only going to be 1 road going out?
We'll go over it at the next meeting. If you want to contact us.
I can drive in now with 2 roads. Why is there only going to be 1 road when this is done?
There's only 1 road in.
Only one, yeah.
No, you can
We're not
drive-
gonna.
You can drive into the park,
We're not-
and you can drive into the private property that's for sold. So there's 1 road on the north and 1 on the
There are
south.
no roads being eliminated as part of this project, so.
Then there should be 2 roads out,
Okay,
right?
then we're good. Thank you. You can come back next
we're
week.
good with that.
Thank you.
All right.
Right, so the audience knows there will be no more discussion on this topic, so if you leave, you won't be missing anything. You will not,
No.
well, yes.
You can't. No,
Right, so
Right.
at the next meeting,
But at the next meeting, it'll be the same way. If you have questions, call City Hall. I mean, just so you know the process. This is, I mean, you guys come here to this meeting, and I know it feels like it should be interactive, which it was at the ZBA hearing, but these meetings have a very specific way that they have to be run.
And it's the same process.
You all just were attentive, but no answers were given.
Because that's not how it works. I don't know how to tell you. Watch previous meetings that we have, and that's how they go. You have the right to comment on it. This is not an interaction. That happened at the ZBA. So, thank you.
okay, so your
Yeah,
two
contact
questions
City
were
Hall.
safety, right, safety, right?
Have they ever built a community of 69 townhomes?
Danielle, we're not
Just
going
make
to,
sure
we're
I
not
answer
going
questions,
to, we're
'cause
not
I
going
wrote
to
down
do
that she was concerned about
You
safety,
can
so I want to
email,
make sure
you can email
specifically next time.
Danielle or anybody else, or call us. We'll answer your questions.
For the elected officials, we do, these are recorded, so staff will go through and any questions that we find, we can make available to the elected officials. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing back and forth, sir. I'm sorry. This is the same process that was used 5 years ago, sir.
But the answers
Please, sir.
are only through an email.
No.
I don't get that.
Yeah, well, I met with people on this already, so I mean, between meetings. We're more than happy to meet with you. If you want to come in and talk about it, you can do that. We can do that.
So,
We got another 2 hours of budget, so this is how it works, so. All right, next item is item 12, public comment on non-agenda matters. Please,
Yeah.
the next person.
Ken Ribeiro for non-agenda matters, please.
Please be respectful when you leave.
Oh, you're with the dog.
Hey.
All right, I'm trying
Come on.
And this is probably don't take this.
Sorry. Yeah, you know what? I was across the street before. I've had 3 of the houses you built. Well, yeah. I still own a while.
Go ahead. Yeah,
When I
go.
came here last, you showed a video of the incident that took place December 22nd near Milwaukee Plaza, in which a U.S. citizen was detained by federal agents.
We're going to close the door.
Let him close the door.
I want to be able to
Don't
hear
worry,
you.
We'll reset your time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll reset the time.
Good evening. When I came here last, you showed a video of the incident that took place on December 22nd near Milwaukee Plaza, in which a U.S. citizen was detained by federal agents while PHPD watched. The video was selectively redacted, protecting the license plate numbers of ICE vehicles, but showing the faces of witnesses without restraint. These redactions are in line with Prospect Heights Police Department's actions on that day to expose their constituents to harm while prioritizing the protection of federal agents. In Illinois, we have the right to film federal agents as long as we're not interfering with the arrest. The highly selectively redacted video still shows a PHPD officer preventing witnesses from exercising their right to film, even as they comply with officer instructions. When I came here last, you refused to translate even the titles of documents and resources into the language of the largest minority in your township. That in itself sends a clear message that you are unwilling to take even one step towards your constituents who are experiencing harm, having their friends, their family members taken, disappeared, that no one should ever have to experience. Today, we invite you to take one step in moving towards that community. We invite you to a community meeting on April 9th at 6 p.m. at Hana Center in Milwaukee Plaza to listen to your constituents. We are inviting you, which means that we'll be providing language support and any other facilitation needs. Regardless of whether you come, we will be holding the meeting and your constituents' voices will be heard. In the midst of all the loss and all the pain, something is happening on the east side of Prospect Heights. Community members are going great lengths to support each other, to show up for each other in ways that inspire and move me every day. Do you want to be a part of that? That's all.
Thank you.
Yuna Young. Sorry if I mispronounced.
Hello, my name is Soyun Jung, and I'm a junior at Prospect High School. Today, I'm standing here as a member of Hana Center. I want to begin with my personal experience as an immigrant. I came to the United States around 2020 during COVID when racism against East Asians was rising. From the moment I stepped into what is called the United States, I faced both small and large forms of discrimination, moments that made me feel like I didn't fully belong. But I told myself that with time, things would get better, that this country would live up to what it promises. I came here believing in the American dream, believing in equality, safety, and protection. But now, almost 6 years later, I'm standing here realizing that not much has changed. And what happened on December 2nd makes it clear. A U.S. citizen, someone who was supposed to be fully protected, was almost taken by the federal immigration officers. And instead of stopping it, the Prospect Heights Police Department helped create a perimeter that allowed it to happen. So I want to ask you directly, what does equality mean if a U.S. citizen is not safe? What does protection mean if the police are involved in something like this? And what does the American dream mean if people in this community cannot even trust those who are supposed to protect them? I want to be honest about how this makes me feel. It makes me afraid. Because if a U.S. citizen is not safe, then who is? Who am I supposed to trust? I came here believing I would be protected. But now I'm standing here questioning whether I'm safe at all. Because if this can happen to someone with full citizenship, then people like me, immigrants, students, families, what does that mean for us? This is not just one incident. This is about trust. And right now, the trust is broken. What makes it worse is not just what happened, but how you responded. They said they did everything right, but from where I stand, something clearly went wrong. Instead of accountability, we see denial. Instead of listening, we see avoidance. Community leaders asked to meet with them, and they refused. So let me be clear. If you truly believe nothing went wrong, then you should have no problem taking these steps now. First, meet with the community. Show up to a meeting at the Hannah Center and actually listen to the people who you represent. Second, provide real and accessible immigrant resources. Not something hidden and not something poorly translated, but something families can actually rely on. And third, be transparent. Share how your police are trained to follow the Trust Act, because right now, your actions are raising serious questions. These are not extreme demands. They're basic responsibilities. I never expected that I, as a high school student, would have to stand here and say this, but something actually went wrong. And refusing to admit that only breaks trust further. Our neighbors, our families, and our community members are affected by this. We deserve to be safe. We deserve to be heard. And we deserve accountability. Because right now, I'm standing here asking a very simple question. Am I safe here? And if the answer is not clear, then something needs to change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lydia, Ann, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lydia Ahn, and I'm a junior at Prospect High School. I am part of Suburban Youth Council at the Hannah Center, and my mom owns a business at Milwaukee Plaza. I'm here today to call on council to provide resources and materials to ensure that Prospect Heights Police Department is fully trained and in compliance with the Trust Act that you guys all passed. My parents came to the United States in search of the American dream. The belief that regardless of your background, this country offers opportunity, safety, and prosperity. But today, that dream feels like it's slipping away. We are seeing masked federal agents coming and detaining individuals in our communities, profiling people, removing them from their cars, and arresting them, even if as they insist that they're American citizens. And you know that federal immigration enforcement does not have jurisdiction over U.S. citizens, yet there have been instances where your constituents of Prospect Heights are being denied of due process. But what is more concerning, it seems like Prospect Heights Police Department, despite having the Trust Act passed, seem to be enabling these actions. How do you expect your constituents to feel safe when the very institutions that are meant to protect them seem to simply stand by or even participate? At school, I'm in a constitutional law class. Just last week, we learned about the Fourth Amendment, which, in case you forgot, protects against unreasonable search and seizure, requiring warrants based on probable cause. I mean, I may be 16 years old with not a fully developed frontal lobe, but it seems pretty clear to me that what ICE agents are doing are in violation of the Fourth Amendment. Yet why is it that Prospect Heights Police Department is enabling ICE agents rather than protecting their own constituents? Why are they setting up security perimeters for ICE operations and not even bothering to check for warrants or the bare minimum of checking their legitimacy of the ICE agents themselves? And I know that you all know that this is not a question on undocumented versus documented. Supreme Court decisions like Pryor v. Doe affirm that all people within U.S. borders, regardless of nationality or citizenship status, are entitled to constitutional rights. When people are being pulled from their cars, detained on the streets, and treated like criminals without clear justification, it not only creates fear for those who are directly involved, but for the entire community, the community that you all represent. And when I see and hear of these incidents, I can't help to think about myself, my parents, my grandmother. You'll know that the driver license actually doesn't prove your citizenship. But I really want to ask, have any of you, as American citizens, wondered if you had to take a passport to work every day, just in case an ICE agent stops you and attempts to shove you in their vehicle? Because all my family members are American citizens, just like you. But we absolutely do have to wonder if we have to carry a passport around, just to wonder if we're going to be detained and ripped away from each other. But what makes us so different? In school, I'm also enrolled in AP US History. And history has shown us the consequences of doing things in the name of national security. at the expense of civil liberties. As you know, in the 1940s, Japanese Americans were forcibly removed and incarcerated under an executive order. Today, as I study Japanese internment camps in class, I cannot help to see the parallels and wonder if we are repeating history. And I can guarantee that one day in the future, when my kids are in AP US history, this moment will be the same as we view Japanese internment camps today. Now, I know that you all care deeply about immigrant justice, as you are the elected officials of Prospect Heights, where immigrants make up about 41% of the community. And I know that you all believe that it is very problematic when your constituents are being stripped of their constitutional rights. But to those who don't care as much, I really want to ask you, is it because it's not your friends, or it's not your family, it's not your mom, or it's not your children that are living in fear? Is it because you have the privilege to simply not care because it's not affecting you? And even making a small change is a small change the burden, despite having thousands in your community that are asking of this change. So when will it start to matter? And when will we start to see change? And in college, I plan to study political science so that I could be at a position like you all, a position to represent the community and carry out responsibilities of protecting the people and earning their trust through action. And today, you all have that responsibility. So I request, and the requests of the constituents are simple, to provide necessary resources and training to the Prospect Heights Police Department to comply with the Trust Act. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lydia. Andrew de la Atlas. De la
I'm a little bit taller. Good evening. My name is Andrew De La Salas, and I serve as the Suburban Youth Organizer at the HANA Center, an immigrant justice organization based in Palawaki Plaza. I'm here to invite all of you, once again, Mayor Ludvigson, City Administrator Falcone, Alderwoman Chief Durbin, Alderwoman Cameron, Alderwoman Anderson, Alderwoman Morgan Adams, Alderwoman Dash, and Alderman Dolick to a community meeting on immigration enforcement at the HANA Center, located on the second floor of 664 North Milwaukee Avenue, once again in Palawaki Plaza. It's just 10 minutes from here. The meeting will be held 2 weeks from now on April 9th. Doors will open at 6 p.m. and the meeting will officially begin at 6:30 p.m. Dinner will be provided as it does fall during the dinner hour, and we will have interpretation available for Spanish, Korean, and English. Since December, all of you are well aware now that a coalition of concerned community members have asked, requested, and now demanded dialogue and transparency following the attempted abduction of a U.S. citizen. We have been rejected in writing, but as you heard last week, abductions have continued to terrorize families, workers, and business owners. Last Thursday, I spoke with managers, employees at 8 different Palawaki Plaza businesses. Some, who had taken time away from work earlier this year to speak with you, were disappointed but unsurprised to hear that city leadership rejected our initial offer to meet at the HANA Center. Those owners are frustrated that after moving to a new city, sometimes from a new country, that they cannot count on you, their elected officials, to defend them. So they are prepared to come to that meeting on April 9th to gather and process in community. Once again, we are offering you the opportunity to do the difficult work of democracy and meet people where they're at, no matter where you think they should be. In 2 weeks, you could meet with the students who question if their parents will be home after school. You can meet with the parents that carry their passports in their pockets. In 2 weeks, you can meet with those who watch the men in Prospect Heights Police Department uniforms watch as a woman was dragged illegally from her car. Last week, I watched all of you clench your jaws, shake your heads, and breathe deeply as you watch the violence that Black, brown, and immigrant communities are facing on a daily basis in this country. When you drive home tonight, I encourage you to sit with that discomfort. Let it replay in your mind while you fall asleep. And ask yourself, is this the kind of society that I want to be a leader in? You know, you don't have to be. You can be the kind of leader that stands up to the challenges, even if they come from the Oval Office. That body cam footage we saw last week was just one edited selective angle. And there are many more perspectives waiting for you if you take the step to build that bridge. Come listen to them on April 9th at 6 p.m. at the HANA Center. We will be noting your attendance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Marcela Lopez, please.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Marcela Lopez. I don't have a lot to say. They have covered pretty much a lot. I'll just keep it very short and simple. It's my understanding that an email was sent in regards to flock system a couple weeks ago, and as of today, no response has been received. I just heard that the questions will be answered here, which based on our past interactions with you guys, that has not been the case. We will bring these questions before the board at our next meeting, and I really hope to see you guys at the community event. Thank you.
Tom Devitz, please.
Good evening, everybody. I also came to talk about the flock cameras, but while we're here and most of the crowd was here, you may be surprised to see how deeply intertwined these two issues are. So the proposed new townhouses, we want to talk about facts and not opinions. The fact is that everybody who spoke in favor of the townhouses stands to profit from them. Everybody that spoke against the townhouses lives here. And you will see that played out over and over and over again. We are seeing the veneer stripped of the atrocities of this empire, right? They will bomb a school with 200 children in Iran and tell you it's for our safety, right? A war of aggression is to preempt them. These ICE agents are for our safety, right? And then we look at these flock cameras, they're for our safety. I would love to know what safety has actually come from surveilling all of your citizens and everyone who drives through your community. And if you're insisting on keeping the cameras up, which makes no sense that we'll pay for our own surveillance, Arlington Heights has put some language in the contract where if there's any issues, it's a $100,000 fine, or right, Flock will pay you back. So if you insist on keeping the cameras, set that up, get some money and go back to the community. And then back to the townhouses. I had a little note here. There was a study done by Princeton and Northwestern University professors that showed the average American's opinions have almost no impact on government policy. This is on a federal level. Whether it's 0% of us or 100% of us that favor a policy, it's about a 30% chance that it passes. So here we see 100%, and let's not pretend that a second meeting is going to go any differently. And the fact that we hide behind the rules and we don't have to talk to you, we don't answer emails, right? The system is set up for, right, you guys are the junior partners of this bigger power structure that does what the money wants and ignores what the people want. And then again, back to the flock. When we brought this up at other municipalities, they said, oh, we have rules and we double check. They can only be Illinois law enforcement people that do that. First off, they can and will change the rules on a whim, right? DHS back in May of 25 said, oh, we no longer need judicial warrants. And then they went through the whole summer like that and it didn't come out until the fall. And we also know they're recruiting police agents. So let's say an Illinois police officer joins ICE. Do we think that his access to the flock cameras is immediately taken away? Would any of them dare break a rule? I haven't seen any ICE officers break a rule, have you? Or any feds, right? So we have all of these hoops and laws and things that we think make us safer or make these rules better, but they're not. It's time to realize who we're dealing with, and it's time for you guys to decide who you are standing with. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go back to item 4, presentations. So Peter, I don't know if you want to kick it off.
Oh, fantastic. This is our initial presentation. Catherine's leaving. Something I said. This is our initial present.
If you're taking government classes,
Yeah, I don't know.
stuff right
Yeah,
now,
I don't know.
sit for-
You know.
No? All right.
This is our initial presentation of our enterprise funds and our 5-year capital improvement plan. I'll kick it off, or I'll kick it over to finance in a second, but this is going to handle not only, like I said, our 5-year capital improvement plan, but also our fiscal year 26-27 tourism, motor fuel tax, water, sewer, special service areas, solid waste, and road construction debt service enterprise funds. Sherry, if you want to kick it off, thank you.
Thank you, Peter, and Mr. Mayor, members of the council. We are here for our second budget meeting. We're going to cover most of the funds except for general, which we covered last meeting. Patrick, can we put the slides somehow? There we go. Okay. All right. We're going to go through a budget recap, see how we expect 26 to pan out. Peter mentioned all the individual budgets that we're going to talk about. And then finally, Mark's going to jump in with us and we're going to look through the capital improvement plan for 5 years. I know the numbers are really small, which is why I put out the handouts across the table. This schedule talks about where we were at the end of fiscal 25, what fiscal 26 results look like, projected fund balance at 26, and then we have our budget there in the last 4 columns. And the final column shows what we anticipate our fund balance to be at the end. So if you look down this column right here, this is the net revenue according to the 27 budget. You've got your revenues here, your expenditures here, and the net. As we look at the general fund, we're looking to expect positive 446 by the end of next year. Good operating number there. And down that line, you'll see a lot of negatives there, but let's not get nervous about that. Sometimes those numbers are okay, right? If we're planned spending for negative.
Say that again.
Don't get too nervous. Don't get too nervous. Planned spending of fund balance. For example, our motor fuel tax fund, the first one there, you'll see the ending fund balance almost $8 million. We're saving that number up for a project, and when that project comes, you might see a negative $6 million as the net budget, but that's so that we can use those funds for a big project. Similarly, for the rest of those, there's a letter next to each of the negatives. If you look on page 2, it'll tell you an explanation of what those negatives mean, along with, some of the positives. The general fund balance projection for April 27 compared to 26. Non-spendable, restricted for public safety. We have our emergency reserves now up to 3.6 million. We have our committed reserve for capital improvements, which represents a 5-year interfund transfer to capital, $1.1 million each year. And then we have our unassigned fund balance, 8 million. So pretty strong, 18 million we're expecting by the end of 27. Motor fuel tax fund, our biggest thing we have going on, we have the 725 budget is our revenue decreased 2% from fiscal 26. Those estimates come from the Illinois Municipal League as they analyze the state's budget, and those are the percentages where they anticipate will be reflective of our year coming up this year. We have our Mirror Point TIF. We started collecting property taxes when this was since inception. I think it's a couple of years now. We're anticipating this year to a $36,000 revenue. That will put the Mirror Point at $72,000 at the end of the year. We're looking at some professional fees to spend this year on possible projects. So there are some expenses there. Tourism fund, although we lost a couple of hotels this year, the 525 budgeted revenue is a slight decrease from 26. We still do have 4 hotels and 4 third-party rentals, agencies, Airbnb, Priceline, Expedia, contributing to our hotel tax. Expenditure's pretty consistent. We still have our special events there. We have the grant disbursements, and our police services are getting reimbursed $116,000. EEA, according to the program guidelines, we're not allowed to budget for revenues, but we do have a significant number of expenditures that we're planning, $366,000. Nice detail there of what all those items are. So we'll be able to cover some of those expenses with those DEA funds. Solid Waste Fund, there's no change in the rates from last year. Our expenses are pretty much the same as well. General, the service charge, there's an error right there. It's not going to the general fund, it's going to the capital fund. The Swank Fund contributes every year a small portion. Swank charges projected to increase 6% for this year. Special service area funds 1 through 4, there's not much really happening in those funds. We still have no revenue source, but we have some fund balance remaining that will be used for professional fees as they come up during the year. 5 and 8 are the only 2 SSAs that we're collecting levies on. SSA 8, the levy wall. We're projecting wall repairs for a total cost of $1.2 million. We're going to get a DCEO grant reimbursement for a portion of those costs, anticipating the majority of that to be completed in 26 by April 30th of 26. We have some final costs carried over into 27. The sluice gate install, we anticipate a project cost of $522,000 for fiscal 27, and we already have secured funding for reimbursement by IDNR for about $500,000. At this point, Mark or Peter, would you like to comment any more on the levy wall status?
Well, no. Council may remember that our agreement with IDNR was that we front them $438,000. So we do not anticipate that our cost or our share of the levee wall, of the sluice gate install, is going to require all $438,000. And part of our agreement, hopefully the IDNR sticks to it, is that they cover the first $500,000. It went out to bid by IDNR. They took the lowest responsible bid of approximately $522,000. So we should get a large portion of that $438,000 that we sent them upfront back. So that's what we're hoping for. So we understand any project does sometimes have overages and some unintended situations and additional expenses. But again, we should get a large portion of that $438,000 back. I don't know if Mark wants to put a finer point on anything.
No, that is it. The only thing on the sluice gate install is there was a much larger project designed for it that we all approved, and because of the funding issues, we basically gutted it and made it as streamlined as possible. That's why the overage was originally planned. We had to cut them that much money. So it's going to be what we need, and it's going to be at less of a cost. So thank you, Peter.
Okay, that brings us to the parking fund. Not much goes on in the parking fund. The revenues from fees are pretty much flat. Expenses are pretty consistent. We do have a salary allocation for public works staff that do maintain that parking lot. The facility lease itself is about $25,000, and the shortfall in operations is continuing to be funded by the general fund, about $115,000. Our next enterprise fund is the water fund. Obviously, the big ticket item here is the water rate. It is increasing this year consistently with the increasing costs that we're experiencing, fixed monthly cost for delivery, infrastructure, and maintenance, and then the variable cost of the supply charge. Last year, our increase in the rate was 1.8%. I think we had a higher inflation rate last year, maybe 2.4, and so now we're up to 3.7 for fiscal 27 for the rate to go up to $63.61. For the sewer fund, we're starting our expenses this year. We have capital expenditures budgeted for about $527,000. That caused a negative in our net budget for sewer. We analyzed the rates and decided to put a little increase there, $2 per month. The fee has not been increased since the city took over the sanitary sewer system 9 years ago, so $2 a month, so $22. So from a $60 quarterly bill, it'll go up to $66. Our revenue budget then increases accordingly to $906,000 versus the $810 to $15 that we've been collecting over the past many years. Expenditures are budgeted at $796,000. 328 is built into the capital improvement plan for some system improvements. And then overall, the costs across the board in the sewer fund have increased. Debt service, this is a good-looking slide. It shows our 27 payment dropping off on the 2 series bonds 13 and 20. So in 28, we will roll into the smaller amount of debt service, and then the referendum passed. So this will all be redone when we get our bond issuances going, but you can see the fall off from 27 to 28, and thankfully the referendum passed, so we'll be able to move forward with our road projects. I did ask Spear to throw a projection together on the first.
Is the SS, what is that, Special Service Area 6, is that over in 29? Is that the last line, or?
Yeah, that's it, that's the end.
So at that point, had the bond not passed, we would have no.
Right, no debt.
Debt to service.
Correct. Correct, we're close to the end of the rope, but why let it run out?
Is that December 2029 for the SSA 6? Isn't it like December?
It says it on here, December pays off,
December
December
15th.
28th.
Okay.
Almost there. All right, so the referendum, I did ask Spear to run a projection from what it might look like and what the rate would look like, and their first projection came through, just estimated, of course, rounding the tax rate of about 0.24 with a 2% EAV growth annually. You can see our levy number there, 23, 24, 25, all right around $1.3 million, and the rates as well. So the first projection on the first issuance needs to come before February 27th of 27 in order to make the 2026 tax levy. So Spear is well aware of that and will be projecting some numbers. Should we get the funds that early without the expenses being spent? As you can see, our planned spending for the referendum money is only $275 in fiscal year 27. So while we issue the bonds in February of 27, we really won't have significant spending till probably fiscal 28. The interest that we're going to earn over that period of time is included in our proceeds to calculate down to this rate. So that's all been included. As time gets closer to the issuance, you know, the rates, of course, will be who knows where, so we'll get estimates again as we get closer. And that's all I had for that part of the presentation. Does anyone have any questions on what we've covered so far? All good? Okay, we'll move into the capital improvement plan.
All right.
I'll just go over the first couple.
Perfect. You just keep going until you decide to quit.
Okay. This slide tells us the history of our capital plan, born in 2018. We are now 9 years in. Our initial deposit of $7.6 million was a capital contribution from the general fund. And as you can see, 9 years later, we have contributed $19 million. Swank is the next column over. They've started contributing as well. They're up to $405,000. At the end of 27's budget, we anticipate a fund balance of about $8 million left for the future years. Remember, we do have the committed reserve in the general fund of $5.5 million to go forward, $1 million a year. But at the end of fiscal 27, we're anticipating $8 million. The bottom section there talks about our fund balance at April of '26 was $8,629,000. So this schedule tries to project what's the fund balance going to look like in 5 years. The top part shows our revenue streams, the 5 million from general fund, the little from Swank. We have fiscal '27 grants already awarded and secured, signed over, waiting for us to submit reimbursements on our projects. Key number there, future grants to be determined. Those awards are not awarded in writing to us. Those could be for a project a year or two down the road, but we have the ideas of what the funding source will be. To be determined grants in the referendum, that $20 million, those are committed to us, but not in writing. The referendum, of course, is. So funding sources over the next 5 years total out to the 48 million. Our costs that you'll see as Mark goes through the slides for the 5 years is 47 million. So we're back down to 800,000 in 5 years. So most of the projects are done because we're funded. We don't, if we're not funded with the grant or the benefactor, then we can't afford to do the project. But it shows that we're making it happen. We are focusing on the grant funding and whatever sources we can come up with. Here's a summary of the 5-year plan.
Real quick, Chair, the projects, all the projects shown in here tie back to this page that we're talking about on 13, as far as the dollars go.
Yes.
So when we're looking at that and going deeper in there to the stormwater projects, you're talking about projects that we don't even have info on, like.
Yes, yes.
That we haven't even started to start the project yet, as far as talking to Walt Hamilton about doing it. So,
Correct.
I mean, this is all still very, because I know I'd asked about,
It's estimates.
in general, about how we make sure we don't overcommit to projects that we have versus projects that we want to do.
Right. So
With the grant money and whatnot.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
If you look on this page 14, that 5-year total column is the $47 million that is on the page before for the total cost being spent. And you can see those numbers for grants to be determined and our referendum money, 20 million. So we have identified, again, like you said, Pat, not gone out and sought specifics on any of these, of 47 million. And then there's added projects off post 5 years. So we have big plans.
Yeah. And these plans, as priorities change, these numbers will change and the projects that are on them will change as well. So this is a snapshot for right now for the next 5 years, but this will change.
So here we have street resurfacing project is the heading, but we renamed this category to roads, curbs, and bridge projects because there's a lot of mixed projects in this field. We have 125,000 budgeted for this fiscal '27 budget. And now it's a Mark slide.
Thank you. And as you guys mentioned, this is a forecast, a plan. There's many things in here that we've talked about tonight and we've talked about over the last meetings and even our strategic planning meeting that are stuff that we are moving forward on with good speed and good direction. There's other stuff that we have that and all of a sudden it stops. We've talked about Willow Road projects and things that just get delayed beyond our control. And then every year we have new and exciting things that get added in or get put onto the back burner, knowing eventually we're going to get to see it. This is the street resurfacing map. It's pretty basic. We know that there's going to be some adds, moves, and changes. As time goes on, we have our pavement assessment that was done, but 3 years from now, there might be a section of road that is deemed worse and another one that's better. We'll try to make our adjustments as we go. We still are going to continue to do our traditional patching as needed. We won't be putting excessive money into patching roads that are going to be replaced in the next 4 years or so. So we're very cognizant of not to spend money to tear it back up. Next slide. The stormwater projects. I'm not going to go line by line, but obviously we have our flood control project on Willow Road we've been working through. We took care of the detention basin, we took care of Owen, and now it's the next step of getting Willow Road actually raised. The next one, Hillcrest Relief, we've been talking about that one a lot lately. That's the big overflow pipe. That pre-construction meeting is happening just in the next couple weeks, so that's going to be a summer project. We're excited about that. Elmhurst Road culvert is to help, so when we get the big rains, Elmhurst Road does not get shut down again at the low point. We've shut that down a few times in the last 8 years. Moving on, there's Willow Road Trails, Willow Trails, and then the West Camp McDonald Road project, which is, as many of you heard the phrase in the past, it was the Dorset project, it was the East Arlington countryside, and now we're going with West Camp McDonald Road. This is the area between Dale and Schoenbeck, and then Camp McDonald up to Willow. The design of helping to keep that area from going underwater when we get major rains and figure out a path for the water to go with some detention. So engineering will start on that. Not this year, well, I'm sorry, 26, 27, there's preliminary engineering, but as you can see in this graph, it pushes it way out. It's not a quick project. And similar to Arlington countryside, it took us years to get those first steps going on it because we were concerned about funding. So this is one of those big things that we like to see.
And Mark, the Willow Trails east side, is that all the detention basin, or is that's something new?
Willow Trails east side, that is the whole thing that we're doing over in the park.
Okay.
Including the ups.
Because you still got construction, okay, so this is just the run out of the cost of that park?
Correct, that'll be done.
Not new, just the run out of it?
Correct, it'll be finished this summer, which unfortunately overlaps the next fiscal year.
Okay.
And that included upsizing of pipes too, correct?
Yes, that project not only changed the landscape of the park by eliminating the large berms and hills and creating more detention areas, we increased the pipe size, outfall of that, which goes off to Old Willow Road and into the Mount Prospect system, but we have capacity, we have detention back there, and then we also replaced and upsized a pipe that went around the Palwaukee Plaza. So that aids us in creating a better stormwater path out of the neighborhoods, and for the owner, if that property, when and if it gets resolved or redeveloped, thank you for the word, we eliminated a future expense that we were able to get grant money for. So it's a win-win all the way across the board. Looking forward to that getting done, and so are the residents over there, because it's still a large construction project. Stormwater projects, Willow Road construction, we're still working with county on what they want to see underneath the culvert pipes that are going to be at the low point of the road. I hope in months from now I have better news that that's moving forward. It's just, this is one of those painful procedures. We feel like we're getting somewhere and it just slows down a little bit. So we are all diligently working through that. Next slide. As I briefly mentioned, the Hillcrest Relief Storm Sewer Project, this is the path of it. If anyone has any questions about it, please feel free to reach out to me. This is going to get going this summer, and it's really going to help many residents and and cure a big problem. The 83 one I mentioned briefly, that's a picture of it. This is just south of the Michael Ridges Park, just north of Clarendon. Actually, we're about 2,000 feet north of City Hall here. So it's about 106 Elmhurst Road. Next one, please. Levee Wall Project. We are near the end of this. The contractor knew working through the winter was going to make the project last a little longer. We wanted to get rolling on it before the spring rains and the river rises. The picture on the upper right corner shows how complete it is. It's a little farther than that right now. They are getting ready to install the IDOT guardrail, do restoration work. The light posts and all the street lights have been reinstalled. And then there's some, obviously, landscaping to finish up there. Next storm project, please. Details on the sluice gate we briefly mentioned. For those of you that are technical, we can blow this up and give you a better copy of it, but basically, they're going to dig a hole put a big guillotine in it to stop the water and backfill the hole. And then if the river rises, we got to go out there and slide the guillotine down. And if it's not flooding, we leave it open. Same operations we do with all the other sluice gates along the levee wall that are under our control, which is 7 of them. Next one, please. Oh, here's the, Pat, sorry, or Mr. Mayor, excuse me. This is the picture of that project. Unfortunately, the photo on here cuts a little bit of it off on the northeast corner, but there's the additional piping that runs around the outside of the plaza near the old Denny's property, then goes north and crosses Milwaukee Avenue. So a great project, a real benefit to the community over there for stormwater control. Largest project that's ever happened on the east side to help stormwater aside from that big concrete levee wall. Next one, West Camp McDonald Road. A general layout of the design we talked about in our strategic planning meeting. Since our last conversation about this in January, we have not done any more engineering on it. It's still in the preemie stage of things here, but it's on the list. Sidewalks, as you'll see here, phased out. We have the Camp McDonald project that's going to start getting underway if everything comes through. We have a little delay on the letting due to a crossing at the railroad, which may push things back ever so slightly, and might push us into the next fiscal year depending on how that goes. Hopefully not, but these are the things that happen with large projects. Elmhurst Road, Willow Road, all the things listed on here. Just a basic idea of where we're going at with it. Next one, please. Oh, that's just a picture of Camp McDonald. Continue, please. This is the Elmhurst North project that we've already been designed and engineered. We're just waiting on a little bit more money. And let me see what my other note on that one is. This one's been kind of off my radar a little bit. We missed the ITEP funding, previous application submitted earlier this year. We're going to try again in the fall. That was my answer for that one. So, good, back one. This is the simple one, Burning Bush. As we've talked about this one for probably 3 years now, it's finally coming true. This will connect Piper Lane to Apple Drive. This is the only section in town over on the east side that's a highly trafficked area for youth and pedestrians that there's no sidewalk. So this is in the corner. If any of you have been here by in the morning, you'll notice the corner of Piper and Burning Bush has 50 children waiting to take the bus. This sidewalk will help that at the beginning of the day and at the end as kids migrate towards the park. A great project. Next one, please. Sewer system. I hate to say status quo, but every year we put time and effort into cleaning, repairing, and relining sections of pipe. This year coming up, we're going to go back and do another televising. The last one we did was started in 15 and 16 and ended in 19. As a vast majority of our sanitary system that we took over from Old Town Sanitary is clay pipe, put in years and years and years ago. The clay pipe has a tendency to crack and fail in different areas. So what we televised 5, 6, 8 years ago may now have cracks in it, or the areas that we found that had cracks in them that didn't seem so bad, maybe longitudinal cracks that have now opened up and we're creating more infiltration, inflow, and issues. So this is just one of those things you got to do every once in a while, is take a good scope, see what you got, and then make your new triage list on what you need to do to protect the flow and keep everyone running. Next one, please. An example of what we got going on. Next one. Water system improvements. Similar to sewer, it's important to keep it flowing. Our water system is very small in relation to the size of our town. We have around a little over 1,000 taps or locations that are being fed off of our system. We have on here the Cauldron water main loop. It's been part of conversation for the last few years. City staff and our grant writer are working really well, and Lloyd, to put forth to see if we can get some funds to help cover this project. It's around $1 million. It would loop our system together. And other than that, we have forecasted out here Rob Roy water main replacement, 3 years out for engineering. We have Camp McDonald water main engineering pushed out a few years. Again, we're trying to solidify our position with getting water for our residents and not have to rely on just Illinois American water. We have a good relationship with Mount Prospect. There's other opportunities for us to get water that we're still exploring, but starting to loop our system and to connect the east end to the west side of or the Rob Roy system to the system that we have over here by 83 is a good thing. Eventually, I could see our city having a much larger water system, but we need to start somewhere. So forecasting out these ideas on a system is the right thing to do at this point. Next one, please.
Mark, is that last line,
Back
the
one.
water main Camp McDonald, is that to bring it to 83?
Yes, sir, that would be a water main project that would take and connect, basically from the police department is where our water main ends, headed east from here, and would take it down Camp McDonald Road to Wheeling Road, which by the Agape Church, we already have a water main connection at the corner there where it turned to go up towards the Lake Claire area. So as designed, when that Lake Claire SSA was built, there was a T put in there specifically to come down this direction. And the same on this side, when the Mount Prospect connection were made, it was just kind of the two ends of the pipe just waiting for someone to wish them together. By doing that, we'd have immediately the option to have some more homes along Camp McDonald Road tie into our system. And obviously, like the Cauldron Loop, we would add another 50 homes available to tie into the city system as needed. The water system interconnect we've talked about in the past. It's up by St. Alphonsus property. There hasn't been much conversation on that in the last 6 months with Wheeling, so their budget cycle is different than ours. So this is still out there in the mix, but it just hasn't had any traction lately. So we have another meeting with Wheeling later on this month about a few things, so I'll bring it back up and see if they have any exciting new news on it. But it is part of our capital plan. That would give us an interconnect in case we lost water source. We could open up the valve and take water from Wheeling, and obviously vice versa. If they had an issue, they could draw water from us, and of course we'd work out the billing both ways with the way the meter would be in the middle. So, next one, please. Oh, I should have moved this slide up earlier. This is the Cauldron water main loop. The only difference to this photo is it is a north-south pipe, not east-west. It's just this fit on the picture on the slide better sideways. Next, please. All right. This is one I'd like Sherry to take, 'cause it's a lot more numbers. Hillcrest Lake stabilization. I'm not going to hit everyone, but that one is the work we do, or the work that the Natural Resources Commission does on the edge of the lake, restoring it. We have the police department upgrades on here, city hall upgrades. These are expenses we put in for different projects we have listed. Public Works updates. We have a contractor coming out and assessing all of our HVAC systems in the next 2 weeks. I couldn't get that done before tonight's meeting, but we'll have some information before our next council meeting. Moving down, and then miscellaneous, a message display board. Every year we have many city events. We work with our neighbors at Homeland Security to borrow boards, message boards if we can. Unfortunately, there's times that we're not able to or allowed to based on their rules and restrictions. We have one little white trailer that's been floating around. The chief and his folks have been great to program it as needed when we need it, but we want to get a larger one so we have a little bit more flexibility. Currently, we have 2 signs up for the vehicle stickers. It'd be nice if we weren't renting those and we had one that was actually ours to take that over. Work in the well house is forecasted out 28, 29. Apple Street lighting project, that has been kicked the can a little bit. We've talked about that for years. When we did the Winkleman project, we kept out Apple just to streamline that project. That has come back up, and we do know that eventually there might be some changes at the plaza down there, so we're gonna hold on to this project for a little bit. That's why it's not in this year's budget, and we're gonna just kind of keep an eye on what's happening with the project and what street lighting, what our best plan and our best expense would be to light the area along river trails from Plaza Drive basically to Milwaukee Avenue. City monument sign comes out of tourism fund. We had a spot picked out with the change for Sky Harbor coming in and the airport 16, the runway being closed. That spot of land is still undecided where we're going to have our sign for folks headed south into Prospect Heights. As you've all seen, last year we were successful at putting the sign up northbound Milwaukee Avenue by Prizer, and we're happy about that. That sign is also going to get lit up in the next few weeks. We have a light that's going to be put on that monument sign and on our Schoenbeck sign, which has a light, but it's been diminishing over the last couple of years. Vehicles, building department vehicle, one was scheduled for this next fiscal year and one after that. Those vehicles that are being currently used all have around 100,000 or so miles on them. And it's not always the miles, it's the salt. We've had vehicles that we've taken out of service because the frames are rotted out, but they only had 92,000 miles on them. So it's not always the number on the odometer, it's the car. Police department, couple cars. International plow truck is on here out of the MFT funding. We have 4 major plow trucks. They're 2012, 2012, a 2013, and a 2014. As good as we do at keeping these trucks clean and get the salt off them after events, rust wins. This last summer we had one of the beds break, almost fall off the truck. We had to have it pulled off, re-welded, and put back on. So we're getting to the point where we know we're going to have to get some trucks replaced. The road bond is going to cover a good portion of plow and fleet vehicles for that, but this is the first of the transition to newer vehicles. The sewer truck is on here. We pushed it out to 28, 29. We'll see how different funding goes in our sewer account. And each year we just push this one back just a little bit more. In the past 2 years, we've only had a few issues that we needed to contract out because our sewer truck wasn't able to perform. We don't want to be putting $30,000 to $50,000 into a truck that's a 99 Sterling that's underpowered and under-equipped as it is. So we keep, our mechanic's been very good at keeping stuff running, but she's a little weak, that truck. But we're going to keep contracting out, so we just push that back. Sherry, next, please. This is the fire department expansion slash benefit to the city and the police department project here. Drew Smith and Tim Jones worked diligently to create a project to increase the size of the fire department for their different needs. With that, funding became available as joint use of the center area for more stormwater management helps the fire department. The parking, we are now going to create about 12 more parking spots in the middle, and then a good portion of our parking lot, or the majority of our police department parking lot, will be repaved at the same time. It'll be damaged during the project, so it needs to be repaved. And at the same time all this is happening, there'll be a fence installed to secure the back portion of the police department property from the front, so our employees, staff, and vehicles are remained in a locked yard area, creating a safety zone that we do not have. Milo's spoken to it numerous times, and it's been a wish list item, and with the project, the fire department, we all win on this one, so it's great for us. They are planning on May, Dan? Somewhere to start. A groundbreaking is forecasted for May. Side note, obviously that's why the Community Day event is being moved to Public Works this year. Then next year, we'll have this entire new area. We'll have nice parking lots. We'll have a great place to have our event the following year. Next slide, please. Oh, my favorite one. So a lot to cover. Even though I ran through a lot of the stuff on the CIP plan, it's obviously not just a public works document. Peter, Lloyd, Sherry, Bob, everybody's had their fingers in this, trying to forecast what we do, how we're going to do it, where we're going to come up with the money. As many of you know, the grant process is not always simple. It's not just, here, send this letter and you get money. Sometimes it's been more streamlined. We have big numbers on here, and it's amazing that we can do what we do and create a big improvement for our community. So I'm very pleased with it. Anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us at any time. Or Dan Strahan, our city engineer, was not able to be here tonight, but he is also a big piece of our puzzle of getting things in the right place. Next slide. That's it. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's all good. That's it. Any questions on any details? There's a lot of details in your packet. To be transparent, all the accounts are listed. You can see the numbers. If you have any questions, please email us. We'll turn an answer around quick as we can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go to item 5. We have no appointments, confirmation, or proclamations. Completed item 6 already. Item 7, consent agenda we don't have. So we have one item left in new business, item A.
Item A is O2603, staff memo and ordinance establishing water rates for FY 26-27, and this is just a first reading.
So it's a first reading, so there's no vote or on this. It'll be at our next meeting, which is April 13th. So if you have any questions about that, please call Peter.
Yes.
Item 10, staff, elected officials, and commission reports. We'll start down here. Lloyd, do you have anything?
No report.
Yeah.
Just that we are pleased to have a new employee that's sitting on the dais with us. Regan, there's no A in there. Regan is our new management analyst in administration, and she's been here for about a week and a half, and she, believe it or not, she keeps coming back. So we're very pleased with that. And just, if you have not met Regan already, please do so. We expect big things from her, just like we do all of our other employees. And our council and mayor are very, very nice people. So please introduce yourself, Regan, if you have not already.
I'm really happy to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you. Dan, anything? You're up.
Sorry about that. We're in the process, as many of you know, our code enforcement officer, Gonzalo Sainz, took another position with another municipality. And so we're in the process of interviewing, should hopefully have a successful candidate by this time next week. Also, too, we're interviewing for the part-time admin position so that as our busy season, which has started, continues to grow, we have the help up front we need. So that's going well. Other than that, we have seen quite a bit of work without permit activity again, and already a complaint of potential contractor fraud. So please, everybody, like I say every year, if you didn't call them to come in, you didn't research them, it's unsolicited, please contact the building department to verify status or just say no. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark?
Yes, sir. Just one announcement. Not this week, and the following weekend is the Prospect Heights Park District's Spring Fling. I think they call it the Bunny Bash this year. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because the Prospect Heights Lions Club does the pancake breakfast for that event. So look at the Park District website for more information.
All right.
'Cause I'll be there cooking pancakes.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sherry, I think you had a pretty busy night already.
I think I said it all
Did you?
for today.
Chief?
No report, sir. Thank you. I'm happy to be here, too.
We'll go elected on the right. Danielle? Matt?
No report, sir.
Wendy?
No report.
I just have a,
Yes.
yeah, oh,
Go ahead.
I just, oh, you,
Yeah, go ahead.
I just have a comment, and I did talk to Mark Roscoe about the streets that are governed or are resurfaced by the Department of Transportation. We don't know exactly the timeline when they're going to come, but when they do come in to fill the potholes, they do a kind of a low-grade job. They'll take the back of a shovel and they're just pound it, and a few days later, it's all, coming apart. So if there's any way we can message them, Mark, I don't know, when you try to contact them.
I've actually called IDOT before, and I left a message not even expecting a return call. I didn't even leave my phone number, and they called me back.
Okay, good.
And we have had that with both IDOT and Cook, Schoenbeck Road is a Cook County road. We've had it with both.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've had residents who've told me both stories that they've had a great response and some that haven't. But I did mention that Wheeling Road had the same issues, and it was resurfaced this last year. Our city engineer is going to reach out to his contact at Cook County to see what they forecast Schoenbeck Road. The Wheeling Road project we had heard about 7 years earlier. So they look at their budgets like we do, where things are kind of sometimes kicked down to the next cycle. So we'll see if they have a forecast for that. But again, we've had residents call. Typically when a resident calls Public Works for a pothole issue and it's not on a road we maintain, we let the resident know the contact number for that agency, whether it's IDOT or Cook County, and then we reach out to that agency also, always knowing that 2 phone calls may stir things up better than a single call from just the municipality. So, but thanks for bringing it up. Yeah, that's.
Wolf Road, is that Cook County?
Wolf Road is IDOT.
Oh, it's IDOT. Okay.
Yes.
There's a
big pothole.
Correct. There's
really big.
And we've reported there's one be about 200 feet north of the Ascot Meat Market there. So, yep, right before Alderman. So they are aware of that, and we got a response that they received our complaint.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So
We're evaluating, yeah. Okay.
I have some.
Go ahead, Terry.
So thank you. SAF Dollars for Scholars 214. Students, high school students, this is the year to apply for a scholarship. We actually have somebody that has donated a scholarship specifically for a Prospect Heights resident. As of Friday, we do not have an application for a student for that scholarship. It's $4,000. It's worth applying for. In addition, we have many more scholarships available. So please go to your counselor at high school and apply for a scholarship for Dollars for Scholars. It's also time to register for our golf outing, which is at Rolling Green Country Club, which is June 22nd. Thank you, Mayor.
Is there an age limit on that scholarship? Because I'd like to go back.
Yeah, it is. They're coming so slow. I mean, it's surprising that we want to give money away.
Do we have that information for our e-news?
Yes,
Okay.
Lloyd has been so kind to put that in. In fact, the application process has been extended to April 10th. So it was the end of March, but now it'll be extended to April 10th because we want to make sure that, we give out all these scholarships.
All right, thank you. Item 11, approval of warrants.
Okay. The amount on the warrants, the total was $184,525.36. We had a wire payment on March 6th in the amount of $198,484.19. There was also a February IMRF payment in the amount of $18,559.65. Manual check, petty cash in the amount of $500, bringing the total warrant to $402,069.20 for council's approval, please.
So we need a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Dash.
Aye.
Alderman Cameron.
Aye.
Alderman Anderson.
Aye.
Alderman Morgan Adams.
Aye.
Alderman Dolick.
Aye.
Motion passes. We are going to have an executive session. Danielle, I promise it'll be very quick. So we need a motion to go out to have an executive session down the hall here for the purposes of compensation of specific employees. So we need a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
We
Anderson.
have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So, coming out of executive session, no action to be taken. We need a motion to adjourn the regular meeting.
So moved. Morgan Adams?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?